like so quiet in this video. It's gonna be one of those like very peaceful ASMR ones that I don't say anything and I'm gonna put like some classical music in the background because honestly I am so concerned. Like, I don't know why. It's just like, it's BLT. It's important. Respect. We need to get it right. That is very good. Wow. Hey everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. My name is Francisco, and today I am very excited because we are gonna be making the classic, the old-time favorite, the never gets old, the little black dress, and that is a BLT. The reason why I'm making a BLT, like, it's pretty straightforward. It's bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Everyone should have a BLT in their warm months arsenal because it's just such an easy thing to make and it's such a crowd pleaser. I do have a sort of couple special things that I do on my BLT. What I wanted to do is, instead of adding like really random ingredients, I wanted to sort of play with the traditional ingredients, but kind of think about them in a different way or construct them in a different way so that they play well together. They play better together. If you like different toppings, if you like to put an egg in there, or if you like to put like whatever, you know who you are and you're gonna do that. It's all allowed in BLT land. This video is more sort of to bring attention to you on the construction of the sandwich. I made notes just so that I don't forget anything because, you know, it's the simple recipes that get you. It's so weird. Like, sometimes I'm just like, I'm working on recipes and it's like, oh, it's like a million ingredients and I have it in my head. I don't need to check anything, but with classics, I respect the classic, you know? It's, respect the classic. Okay, so the first thing in the construction of a BLT is that we're gonna take care of the B, which is the bacon. The reason why you wanna take care of the bacon first and foremost is because not only is it the thing that's gonna take longer, bacon takes longer than you think to cook, but we are going to need the bacon and everything that the bacon gives in order to create the rest of our ingredients. When you are batch making bacon, it is very recommended to use your oven. Just put it in a wire rack, 400 degrees, and it'll cook evenly, and you don't really have to do anything because it's just me. I don't really want to turn my oven on. I'm just gonna use my cast iron. So I'm gonna place my bacon. This is Quebec's finest. No, I'm kidding, this isn't sponsored. Also, I just wanna ask, what is it with the complicated bacon packaging? I want answers. Like, don't tell me that we can't package bacon in a more simple and efficient way. Like, we have the technology. We've been to space. We have electric cars. We should have bacon packaging that it is practical, that is resealable, and then you have to open the package and then your leftover bacon you have to store somewhere else because, you know, you can't keep it here because I'm using smoked bacon. I mean, most bacon is smoked, TBH. Thin cut bacon. Una, dos. There's two things that I cannot do in English. One is counting and the other one is talking to animals. I should probably explain that. Like, when I see a dog, like a cute dog or a cute cat or whatever, or I go to a zoo. I don't know when was the last time I went to a zoo, but like, whenever I see like cute animals, I have to speak to them in Spanish. I can't speak to them in English. Like, they don't speak English. Kind of spread it apart, but don't stretch too much about it. They're gonna kind of do whatever they wanna do in the pan. These are going first at medium heat, and then once they are kind of sizzling, I'm gonna turn down the heat a little bit so that they are in medium-low. What I want here is to render the fat slowly. That's what you wanna do with bacon in general. You don't wanna blast it with heat, especially on a stovetop. You'll see what we do with that fat later. Okay, so mysterious. Okay, so while my bacon is going, I am going to tend to my gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous tomatoes. Tomatoes, like I said, here in Canada, we have a small window of opportunity for them to be beautiful and ripe and juicy and all of the things. You want to pick tomatoes that are still in a green vine. That really usually represents freshness. They smell beautiful, which is something that I discovered recently. I don't know, that you can like pick up a tomato and smell it. Like, before that I was like, well, you won't smell anything if it's closed, like if you don't slice it open, but you very much can. It smells like beautiful tomato. I chose simple red vine tomatoes because I kind of think that beautiful heirloom tomatoes are best eaten just sliced on a salad with a little salt, that's it. These tomatoes are gonna be covered, they're gonna go in a sandwich. So it's gonna be kind of tragic to use like the most beautiful tomatoes I can find. I can hear my bacon, so I'm gonna turn it down. So I am going to be slicing these tomatoes and I'm going to be putting them in a plate and then I'm gonna season them on both sides. Those are good tomatoes. Season from high up, not to be the salt guy, but like when seasoning from high up, you're allowing yourself a chance for the salt to distribute itself while it's falling. If you salt really near to the thing, you end up with clumps of salt. You don't want that. Tossing frequently in order to render all of that fat. And I'm working in batches, so you know when a batch of bacon is done, you're gonna try not to eat it, but set it aside. In the other meantime, we're gonna slice up our bread. I use sourdough for this. I don't think that this is the time for enriched dough. I don't really enjoy like brioche or, you know, like potato rolls for BLT. I don't like it. I prefer like a sturdy kind of crumb that is just made of like beautiful yeast, flour, and water and salt. We are going to slice this up. We are going to season it. We are going to toast it on one side with a little bit of room temp butter. So the reason why I only toast it on one side, by the way, is because this is a tough bread. Like it's tough. If I toasted it on two sides, or if I put it in the oven or in the broiler and turned it frequently, it'll make it even more crunchy, and it'll just like be kind of not very pleasant to bite into. Toasting one side, I'm creating sort of a water barrier, which is what I want in a BLT. It's gonna be toasting on one side, but on the other, on the presentation side, if you will, it's going to remain kind of soft and easy to bite into. They're ready to come out. I'm just gonna transfer my bacon to this wire rack. And now what I'm gonna do is that in a heat-safe bowl, I am going to put a little strainer, and I am going to collect all the fat that I accumulated from that bacon. I am going to be making an aioli today. So an aioli is basically a homemade mayo. Pretty straightforward. There are a couple of tricks, but to be honest, we are just creating a very simple emulsion. What we're doing in an emulsion is that we are sort of tricking the fat into combining with a liquid, and that is what gives mayo the mayo-y-ness. It's not like a lot of people say that mayo is creamy. It's not creamy. It doesn't have cream. It is an emulsion. It is a suspension. It's going to be a mayo using the fat from the bacon, a little bit of olive oil, and a little bit of neutral oil. The bacon fat is there to provide that bacon flavor that is going to complement the rest of the sandwich. The olive oil gives it like freshness, and the vegetable oil is there for the actual suspension. So if I were to use just bacon fat and just olive oil in my aioli, it would be way too rich. This aioli is called a honey mustard bacon aioli. And it should be called honey mustard bacon tomato aioli, but like, you know, there are only so many words that we can use to describe an aioli. Not only am I using the bacon fat to flavor my aioli, but I am also using my tomato juices. And we are adding them into the suspension so that we are adding it to the richness of the sandwich. If it is in the aioli form, it is way less likely to just like fall off because your sandwich will not be soupy. It will be like moist and rich and dense, but it won't be like just a bunch of liquid that is like pouring out of your sandwich. This is tomato water. This is golden. This is why we've been waiting for summer tomatoes. This little baby here. Oh, that's the juice. That's the juice. 1/3 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil, vegetable oil, half that of our bacon fat. I'm gonna combine my wet ingredients. So I have my tomato juice going in. I'm gonna have the juice of a lemon. So lemon juice, again, provides acidity, sweetness, freshness. What makes an aioli, and I think that this is kind of cool and really beautiful, is that, you know, what makes it rich and dense is that combination of the fat and the liquid, which like shouldn't be together, but they've managed a way to work it out, and that is why you have that beautiful texture. Flavor-wise, you're doing kind of the same thing. You're combining two things that are very different. So you're adding all of those really fatty, rich ingredients with really bright and acidic ones. Lemon, tomato juice, a little bit of white vinegar, and the honey mustard. So for my aioli, I'm going to start in a big bowl. I'm adding 2 yolks. Some people use the same eggshell to separate. I don't like doing that. I like using my hands. Also, it reminds me of Meryl Streep in The Hours. I used to love that movie when I was like 13. Like I was too young to be watching The Hours. Okay, cool. 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Dijon mustard, like I said, is gonna add a little bit of spice. But also what it's gonna do is that it's gonna help stabilize the entire thing. So it's gonna help that emulsion between the fat and the liquids. And then 1 tablespoon of honey. I don't know, like I think that the addition of honey in a BLT is a no-brainer to me. Alrighty, so I am going to start mixing this, making just the most beautiful golden color known to man. And then little by little, I am going to start adding my fat. You will need to start slowly. Also, my mixing bowl is doing like the Tibetan singing bowl thing. It's very relaxing. Can you make this in a processor? Probably, yeah. You'll see that once you have a bit of an emulsion, you can start drizzling your fat a bit quicker. At first, everyone's a little shy and you need to, you know, be gentle but once they get to know each other, really, all bets are off, you know? I'm gonna season with salt. Stay the course. And now I'm gonna start drizzling as well my acid. Tablespoon by tablespoon, you don't wanna be too aggressive here because it will start thinning it out. And the last thing that I'm gonna add to this aioli is a little bit of hot sauce. I think that it is important to have spice, especially to cut through this fat and the bacon and everything. I'm using this one, it's Lord's, it's Holy Smokes. It's really good. It's habanero, so it has a kick. Like, final mix. Wow, it's bacony. It's smoky, it's spicy. I saw this meme online while surfing the web. It was just like a tweet, I think, of someone saying like, aioli is just mayo that's studied abroad. Really accurate. Okay, we have an aioli. I'm gonna keep it in the fridge. And now, slice up our bread. So we're looking kind of like this. You're witnessing one of my biggest pet peeves in the kitchen, which is when your butter is not room temp enough. So you can't really slather it to your heart's desire, because I can't stand it when slathering butter damages the crumb of the bread. It's true crime. Sometimes I think that my ratio of caring about things is completely wrong. Like, I will care so deeply about things that nobody cares about. And then other things that people are like really concerned about, I'm always like, it's fine. Also, I think that the kitchen really tests me to like either live it in a way that makes me feel like happy and creative, or if I treat it in a way that like it's just like a playground for me to act out all of my control issues. Self-awareness, something that I'm working in the kitchen, I'm working in therapy. Okay, these are going in side down. All right, final steps. The lettuce, we need to give love to the lettuce. Remember, like this is a BLT. The L is for lettuce. I'm just gonna separate some of the leaves, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slather them with our aioli. You don't have to do both sides because I don't want them to get like too wilty. I don't want them to be like too rich. By the way, you will be shocked to see that there's no black pepper in this recipe. Can you add it? Of course. I've been trying to like educate myself and my palate into like really saying like, okay, is this necessary? What would happen if it were missing? I realized I didn't need the black pepper. And that, I think, is growth. Anyway, that's enough of my journey. I'm ready to assemble. I'm so excited. Aioli on both sides, edge to edge. Each bite has flavor. Our lettuce, because I think that the lettuce really acts here, and you can break it up so that it's not egregiously large. It's like a moisture barrier. Like the idea of lettuce being in the middle is like, sounds very, very wrong. On top of my lettuce, tomatoes. And then on top of my tomato, my beautiful bacon. We're not here to mess around. Some of my bacon is a little soft, some of my bacon is a little crispy. I do finish with lettuce on top as well. It also, I find it like encases the entire thing. Putting the lid, ba-boom, pressing. Oh my God. I serve them with a side of pepperoncinis. Is this for the aesthetics? Absolutely, but I also think that it's nice to serve like a little extra of everything. You wanna kind of take a little cheeky bite of a tomato, you wanna take a little cheeky bite of it, you know, like, I don't think I'm alone here. Wow, what's he gonna do? Saucy, but not soupy. Like it's, I think, the perfect amount of drippage. With a little pepperoncini. It's a messy sandwich, but sometimes life is messy. Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your warm months and that you make many BLTs and that you enjoy tomato season because it's there to enjoy. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Ciao.